Brother Justice Umesh Trivedi, Judge High Court of Gujarat, my esteemed brother and sister judges, Mrs. Sudha Ben Trivedi, wife of Justice Umesh Trivedi, and family members of Justice Trivedi, Mr. Kamal Trivedi, Learned Advocate General, Ms. Manisha Labkumar, Learned Additional Advocate General, Mr. Mitesh Amin, Learned Additional Advocate General, Mr. G.H. Virk, Learned Government Pleader, Mr. Hardik Dave, Learned Public Prosecutor, Mr. Brijesh Trivedi, President, Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, and office bearers of the association. Former judges of the Gujarat High Court, learned senior advocates, learned members of the bar, learned registrar general, and officers of the registry of the High Court, ladies and gentlemen. It is my proud privilege to present this farewell address of our distinguished brother, Justice Umesh Trivedi, Judge, High Court of Gujarat. Justice Trivedi was born on 7th October 1963 at Vadodara. His father was an officer of the district judiciary who retired as a city civil and sessions judge. Justice Trivedi graduated in science from MN College, Visnagar, in the year 1984 and obtained degree of law from Nav Gujarat Law College in 1988. He was enrolled as an advocate with the Bar Council of Gujarat on 29/8/1988. He started practicing in the Metropolitan Magistrates Court and later shifted to the High Court in 1990. Justice Trivedi practiced in the High Court in almost all fields like criminal, civil, service, labor, constitutional laws, etc. Justice Trivedi was an assistant government leader and additional public prosecutor in the High Court of Gujarat from 1996 to 2001 and additional government leader in 2009 and 2010. He was appointed as a special public prosecutor for Pota cases. Justice Trivedi was elevated as a judge of the High Court of Gujarat on 22nd October 2018. Justice Trivedi is fond of playing badminton and table tennis. He represented his college in the inter-college badminton competition of the Gujarat University. He is fond of swimming as well. Today, Justice Umesh Trivedi is retiring after holding his position as a judge of the High Court of Gujarat for a period of about 7 years. Justice Trivedi has disposed of almost 9,432 cases during his tenure. As is said, retirement is not the end of the road. Rather, it is opening of a new pathway, a second inning of the life. For Justice Trivedi, strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Justice Trivedi is the best example of this spirit of life. In spite of his health issues lately, he continued to conduct the court proceedings virtually. This is a reflection of his commitment to the institution. Due to his hard work, diligence, adhering to the professional ethics, and ability to work, Justice Trivedi has gained respect from everyone. I congratulate and extend my heartfelt gratitude to his wife, Mrs. Sudha Ben, for being his staunch supporter. Mrs. Sudha Ben is an accomplished folk singer. We have witnessed her performance in karaoke musical program of the High Court officers and staff. Justice Trivedi is blessed with 2 children, Mr. Dhaval and Miss Forum, who are assistant government pleaders. His son-in-law, Mr. Mitrajit Shukla, is also an assistant government pleader in the High Court. Justice Trivedi has 2 brothers, one of whom, Mr. Paresh Trivedi, is a retired officer from the State Bank of India, and the other, Dr. Sanjay Trivedi, is an arthroscopy and sports injury specialist. He has one sister, Miss Preeti Vadheria, who is a homemaker. I, on my behalf and on behalf of my brother and sister judges, wish Justice Trivedi an active, healthy, and fulfilling life ahead. Thank you.
Honorable the Chief Justice and all the Honorable Judges of the High Court of Gujarat, Honorable Ms. Justice Harshaben Devani, former Judge of this Honorable Court, Learned Additional Advocate Generals Manisha Ben and Nitesh Bhai, Learned Government Leader Shri Gulsharan Rick, and Learned Public Prosecutor Shri Hardik Dave, President and other office bearers of the Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, Learned Senior Advocates, and members of the legal fraternity of the state, Registrar General and other officers of the High Court Registry, and invited dignitaries at caste. We have gathered here today to bid farewell to His Lordship, Honorable Mr. Justice Umesh Amritlal Trivedi, fondly called Umesh Bhai, who lays down the ropes of office after a distinguished tenure on the bench of this Honorable Court. His Lordship has always been a wonderful judge for those who have had the good fortune to practice in His Lordship's court. On behalf of the bar and the legal profession in the state, I associate myself with the profound feelings of affection expressed by Honorable the Chief Justice on this occasion. It is never easy to say goodbye to an Honorable Judge who has not merely discharged the duties of his high office, but adorned the bench with utmost sincerity, fairness, and compassion. Umesh Bhai has throughout his career exemplified the finest traditions of our judiciary, that is independence, integrity, and commitment to justice. At this juncture, I would like to dedicate to His Lordship what Bhishma Pitama, patriarch of Pandavas and Kauravas, said in Mahabharata to Lord Krishna while describing him as a justice protector. I quote, Vidya Vivadaya Dhanam Madaya, Shakti Paresham Paripidnaya, Khalasya Naya Viparita Tameta, Gnanaya Danaya Cha Rakshan Sameta. I unquote, meaning thereby, bad people use knowledge for arguments, wealth for showing arrogance, and strength for harassing others. Whereas justice protector uses knowledge for doing justice, wealth for doing charity, and strength for protecting the people. As referred to by the Honorable the Chief Justice, Shri Umesh Bhai was born on 7th October 1963 at Vadodara. His father was a judicial officer who retired as a city civil and sessions judge. Because of transferable job of his father, Shri Umesh Bhai had done his schooling in a very humble way from various municipal schools located in various districts of the state, and lastly, from Diwan Vallabhbhai School in Ahmedabad. After graduating in science stream from MN College, Visnagar, Umesh Bhai did law from Nav Gujarat College in 1988, and following in his father's footsteps, entered into the legal profession by enrolling as an advocate in the Bar Council of Gujarat on 29th August 1988, and commenced his legal journey from Metropolitan Magistrates Court, and thereafter, in the year 1990, started practicing in the High Court of Gujarat and soon established himself as a formidable lawyer. Umesh Bhai practiced extensively in various fields of law such as service, labor, land, constitutional, as well as criminal law. From 1996 to 2001, he worked as an assistant government pleader and additional public prosecutor, and thereafter, in 2009 and 2010, as additional government pleader, and was also appointed as a special public prosecutor for trial of quota cases. Umesh Bhai and I have walked in the corridors of this Honorable Court to either oppose or appear together in several matters. On 22nd October 2018, His Lordship was elevated as a judge of this Honorable Court from the bar. It is really commendable that all throughout the judicial career, His Lordship has adhered to utmost dignity and decorum in judicial conduct. His Lordship has safeguarded the rights of litigants by ensuring that precious judicial time of the court is not exploited by delaying tactics. Justice Trivedi adopted a firm and no-nonsense approach while dealing with the members of the bar and posed direct and pertinent queries, striking at the root of the matter. His Lordship's contribution to our institution on judicial side has been valuable, which bespeaks in form of various judgments rendered by His Lordship. Justice Trivedi had always had a straightforward and practical approach and made sure that the litigants did not suffer at the hands of arbitrary action. When His Lordship is known to have excellent command in criminal law, we find luminous judgments rendered in various other fields too. At this stage, a brief reference of few more important judgments handed down by His Lordship would be very apposite. In case of Madhukantaben versus State of Gujarat, decided on 9th June 2022, in special civil application number 11988 of 2019, the petitioner had challenged an order of the principal civil judge dismissing her share in father's property, which was acquired by the state on the ground that she had waived her rights via an affidavit in 2011. His Lordship took note of the fact that, as per Section 17(1)(b) of the Registration Act 1908, relinquishment of right in property valued above ₹100 is required to be compulsorily registered. And since the petitioner's affidavit was not registered, the same could not have been received as evidence as per Section 49 of the Registration Act, and therefore it was held that the petitioner was entitled to her share in the property. In case of Brilliant Life Sciences Private Limited versus Gujarat Medical Services Corporation Limited, reported in AR 2005, Gujarat 113, the petitioner had challenged the order of debarment passed by the respondent authority on account of failure to intimate about another debarment order. His Lordship observed that when, by way of tender condition, the bidder had undertaken to make full disclosure about its antecedents, failure to disclose about another debarment order was violative of contract condition itself. And in view thereof, it was held that no interference was warranted with the impugned order of debarment, as high moral standard was expected from the petitioner. In Kirit C. Rana versus Harpal C. Rana, reported in 2025, 3 GLR 1673, the petitioner challenged the order of election tribunal passed under Section 31 of the Gujarat Panchayats Act 1993, wherein the application filed by the respondent under Order 7/11 of the CPC was allowed by the election tribunal, and consequently, the election petition of the petitioner was dismissed. His Lordship, while allowing the writ petition filed against the said order, observed that nature of proceedings before the election tribunal was in the nature of an inquiry, and hence provisions of CPC are not applicable in entirety to election petitions filed under Section 31 of the Act, and therefore dismissal of the election petition was set aside. And in case of Yash Champaklal Shah versus State of Gujarat, decided on 2nd March 2022, in criminal miscellaneous application number 1234 of 2022, a regular bail application was filed under Section 439 of Code of Criminal Procedure in connection with an FIR registered under Sections 8C, 22C, and 29 of the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985, wherein the prosecution was relying on the WhatsApp chats between the applicant and the accused at the time of offense. While allowing the bail application, His Lordship held that applicant was not found to be in possession of any contraband, and therefore screenshot of WhatsApp chats allowing applicant merely being in contact with co-accused cannot be treated as corroborative material. According to me, one of the most striking features of Justice Trivedi's personality is his unwavering determination, which is perhaps the embodiment of his persona. This reminds me of a very popular dialogue from a Hindi movie called Wanted. I quote, "एक बार जो मैंने commitment कर दी, फिर मैं अपनी आप की भी नहीं सुनता." End quote. Two instances about such commitments on the part of Justice Trivedi are very much live in my mind. Firstly, when His Lordship at the bar, he was very much enjoyed smoking. And it would not be an exaggeration to say that he was a heavy smoker. However, in the month of October 2015, during the course of his visit to Shirdi Sai Baba, he all of a sudden determined to quit smoking and took a vow for the same. There and then only, and thereafter, His Lordship has never looked back to the same at any point of time till today. Second instance is from recent time. In the month of June 2025, when His Lordship was diagnosed with a very deadly disease called MDS-EB2, that is myelodysplastic syndrome, where DNA mutation takes place so fast that RBC and WBC count fall drastically, which may eventually progress to acute myeloid leukemia, causing a great danger to life. Fortunately, His Lordship could successfully undergo bone marrow transplantation with the help of a matching blood donor who was none other than his elder brother. However, he was advised to take complete rest, but His Lordship was determined to do judicial work virtually, which has been so done all throughout, which the Honorable the Chief Justice was kind enough to permit. Thus, according to Justice Trivedi, once a commitment is made to any cause, much less the cause of justice, it must never be altered, even in the face of difficulty. It is worth noting that besides investing his time in judicial work, Justice Trivedi is an avid sportsman who thoroughly enjoys playing badminton, table tennis, and swimming. In fact, in college days, His Lordship had successfully participated in inter-college badminton competition of Gujarat University. One can say that His Lordship has emerged successful even in several table tennis matches played in the courtroom, where he has perceptively handled the arguments of members of the bar. This apart, reading is his lordship's hobby, whereas rhyming old Hindi songs along with his wife is his passion. Umesh Bhai is a family man, and at home front is being looked after by his wife, Srimati Sudhaben Trivedi, a wonderful cook and talented singer with a melodious voice. Both are proud parents of their son Dhaval and daughter Foram, who is married to Mitrajit Shukla, and all the three of them are practicing in our High Court. Justice Trivedi has three siblings. His elder brother, Sri Paresh Trivedi, is a retired officer from State Bank of India, and younger brother, Dr. Sanjay Trivedi, an arthroscopic and sports injury surgeon, and younger sister, Mrs. Preeti Videria, is settled with her family in Ahmedabad. Retirement is not an end, but the beginning of another journey. While this Honourable Court may miss his Lordship's presence, we are certain that Justice Trivedi will continue to contribute to the cause of law and justice and society at large. Today, on the eve of retirement, sir, I would like to recite for you what was once said by a great philosopher and yogi, Sri Aurobindo Ghosh, in the year 1898, at the time of taking up assignment of professorship in English literature in Baroda Arts College. While taking up this assignment from his predecessor, Professor Harold Littledale, who was retiring, Sri Aurobindo had said, I quote, "As you reach this time in your life, may you find joy in remembering your past accomplishments and happiness in pursuing your old and new passions." End quote. On behalf of the legal fraternity of the state, as well as on my behalf, I take this opportunity to wish His Lordship a peaceful and meaningful life with utmost health and unfading enthusiasm. Thank you.
Honorable the Chief Justice and other honorable judges of this honorable court, Honorable Mr. Justice Umesh Trivedi and family members of Justice Umesh Trivedi, then Advocate General Mr. Kamal Trivedi, then Additional Advocate General Mrs. Manisha Lavkumar, then Additional Advocate General Mr. Mitesh Amin, then Government Leader Shri Gursharan Virk, then Public Prosecutor Shri Hardik Dave, my colleagues, Vice President Shri Virat Popat and Secretary Hardik Brahmat, senior advocates, learned friends, invited guests, members of the registry. I associate myself with the feeling expressed by the Honorable the Chief Justice and Learned Advocate General. Today we have gathered to bid farewell to Justice Trivedi. How time flies. It seems like only yesterday when His Lordship accepted the call of duty and elevated, and 7 long years passed so quickly. We used to sit together in tea room and waited for Umesh Bhai to offer us his special style coffee. His Lordship's tenure as a judge of this High Court has been very productive. As pointed out by Learned Advocate General, more than 90,000 cases have been disposed of. Sri Umesh Bhai was fond of sports and represented his college at university level in badminton and was very fond of swimming and table tennis also. Recently, Umesh Bhai was detected with very serious ailment, but being a great fighter he is, Sri Umesh Bhai continued with his duty online and worked relentlessly till the last working day. Umesh Bhai underwent a surgery, and I hope that being a fighter as he is, he will overcome this very soon. We wish him a very speedy recovery. I, on behalf of the members of the bar and on my own behalf, wish His Lordship a very healthy, happy and successful retirement.
Honorable the Chief Justice, my esteemed brother and sister judges, Honorable Miss Justice Harsha Devani, former judge of this court, Sri Kamalbhai Trivedi, Learned Advocate General, Miss Manisha Lavkumar and Mr. Mitesh Amin, Learned Additional Advocate Generals, Sri Pradeep D. Bhate, Learned In Charge Additional Solicitor General of India, Sri G.H. Vik, Learned Government Pleader, Sri Hardik Dave, Learned Public Prosecutor, respected senior advocates, Learned Central and State Law Officers, Mr. Brijesh Trivedi, President, Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, Sri Virat Popat, Vice President, Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, Sri Hardik Brahmat, Secretary, Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, Learned Registrars, members of the Registry of the High Court, advocate friends, well-wishers. I am deeply touched by the kind and generous words spoken about me today. It is indeed a moment of mixed emotions for me on this date of my retirement to bid farewell to this court after 7 years on the bench. And I feel a deep sense of gratitude, humility, and reflection. First and foremost, I would state that my parents had been greatest influence in my life. Whatever I have been able to achieve and the values that guided me through every decision have been instilled by them. The sense of justice, humility, and compassion that I tried to uphold on the bench is nothing but a reflection of my father, who was a city civil and sessions judge. I also cannot forget to express my sincere gratitude to Sri H.M. Dhruv, a distinguished senior advocate and a legal luminary, doyen of the bar. After my father's death, it was because of Sri Dhruv Sahib, Dhruv Sahib's unwavering support and guidance, who gave me an opportunity to assist him as Assistant Special Public Prosecutor in all terrorism cases. It is due to his guidance and support that I could succeed as a lawyer, as a special public prosecutor, and later on could make efforts to discharge the pious duty as a judge. I also cannot forget Sri R.R. Trivedi, advocate coming from Jodhpur, though not related by blood. Relations are more than that, continued since 30 years by now. He entrusted his entire office, because of which I could settle down at the High Court. Though I joined legal profession in the year 1988, when I started practice at Metropolitan Magistrate Court, my association with this court commenced in the year 1990. My journey in the judiciary had been challenging and at the same time fulfilling. I always tried to perform to the best of my ability to discharge my duty with utmost fairness and integrity. I must confess before you all that I always tried to discharge my duties in fear of God and to the solemn oath I had taken. As I reflect on the years on the bench, my journey began with Justice Akil Qureshi, from whom I learned time management and ethics. Not a single work would be pending after court hours, which I tried to imbibe in my journey as a judge. Thereafter, I had the privilege to sit with Justice S.R. Rambat and Justice Vinit Kothari as a junior judge. I am thankful to Ms. Justice Moksha Thakkar, Justice Samir Dave, Mr. Justice R.M. Sarin, Mr. Justice C.M. Roy, and Justice J.L. Odedra, who sat with me in division bench in recent past. Each of them brought wisdom, patience, and unique perspective from whom I learned immensely. I shall remain grateful for the camaraderie we shared and for the valuable lessons I carried from those sittings. Those experiences enriched me both as a judge and as a person. I express my sincere gratitude to the members of the bar. Your advocacy, scholarship, and dedication have been invaluable in assisting the court in reaching just decisions. The cooperation and respect I received from the bar made my journey on the bench a truly meaningful one. Whatever I spoke on the bench was always with the intention of upholding discipline and fairness. As described by Socrates, I have always tried to hear courteously, to answer wisely, to consider soberly, and to decide impartially. As you all know, the job of a judge is a demanding one, and at the same time, a divine job of administering justice. As a judge, I tried to be conscious of the work assigned with all seriousness. I always made an effort to uphold the constitutional values without fear or favor. However, at any point in discharge of my duties, if my words in court have caused hurt or discomfort to anyone, I humbly seek your forgiveness. I would like to give a message to the young members of the bar. Advocacy is a noble profession. You are the future and strength of our judicial system. To be a successful and meaningful lawyer, and above all to be a good person, one should be honest, humble to fellow beings, and be affectionate to your family. So work hard, prepare well, and always uphold integrity, for your role is as vital to justice as that of the bench. Now, adverting to my family, my wife Sudha always stood by me through every stage of my career, silently sharing the burden and sacrifice that this journey demanded. In my crucial times of illness and weakness, Sudha gave me the courage to continue my duties, and for that, I would remain forever grateful. I must also thank my son Dhaval, daughter Forum, and son-in-law Mitrajit, who also are members of the bar. I feel blessed that they have chosen to walk the path of law, and I wish them a journey filled with integrity and purpose. I cannot forget my staff members, without whom my journey would not have been possible. I would like to thank Ms. C.G. Thomas, my principal private secretary, Lalji Desai and Raj Dobi, my private secretaries, who with their efficiency, patience and commitment have always to the best of their abilities assisted me and allowed me to discharge my duties. I also cannot forget untimely passing away of Mr. Ashish Gadia, Principal Private Secretary who worked with me for about 5 years, but unfortunately is no more. I express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Hemal Nayak, Deputy Registrar who worked with me as Court Master, now Mr. Fahim Sheikh and Mr. Sibu John, who have always been working tirelessly in my toughest time. I must state that during the most challenging period of my illness, it was the dedication of my secretarial staff and my court masters who ensured that the court continued to function smoothly. My legal assistance over the period of time, Mr. Ravi Vaishnav, who is now working with Railway Department, Mr. Swapnil Fatania, who is JMFC at Surat, and presently Ms. Ishani Verma and Bhavika Makhija have always helped me with legal research. I sincerely thank my chowkidar, Mr. Narendra Prajapati, and my office attendant, Mr. Atul Thakur, for their outstanding service. My PSOs, Ketan Jadhav and Nikulsi Rajput, have been and are more than my personal security officers. My home attendants, Hitesh Dhabi and Satish Mina, looked after us at home and made it more welcoming. My heartfelt thanks to my driver Amrit Bhai, who has been an indispensable part of this journey. I thank each of you personally for standing with me through these years. Whatever I could achieve as a judge was because of your sincerity, dedication, cooperation, and loyalty. Before I conclude, I would like to state that I hold the Chief Justice and this august institution in highest regard. I also express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Chief Justice for permitting me to continue judicial work through video conferencing during my illness, which ensured that I could remain connected with you and discharge my duties even when I was physically unable to be present in the court. I apologize to the Honorable Chief Justice for the inconvenience caused to your Lordship due to my words or actions. I sincerely seek forgiveness from your Lordship. I would also like to thank all Registrar Generals from 2018 till present Registrar General Mr. Suthar, SD Suthar, and all the judicial officers come registrars who have worked in the registry during my tenure. I would also thank the staff of the registry for their unwavering assistance all throughout. I would further thank the secretaries of the Chief Justice Secretariat, present and past, who have always guided me in discharge of my administrative duties. I also render my gratitude to the protocol staff, each one of them without individually naming them for having taken care of me and family's comforts. I wish to also acknowledge my gratitude to the judges' cell and the housekeeping staff. As I take leave of this esteemed institution, I carry with me not just memories of cases and judgments, but the warmth, support, and companionship of all those who have been part of this journey, of my colleagues on the bench, the members of the bar, the staff, and my family. I cannot help but say that I will be missing the tea room meetings, which were always special, and I shall miss them dearly. With a heart full of gratitude and best wishes for the future of this court and all those associated with it, I bid farewell with a quote. डर हमको भी लगता है रास्ते के सन्नाटे से, लेकिन एक सफर पर ये दिल अब तो जाना हो तो होगा. थैंक यू. जय हिंद.
Proceedings of the court would stand suspended for the rest of the day.
I know.